I'm 71 years old, and 3 months ago, my grandson asked me a question that broke me, not in a bad way, in the way that sometimes you need to be broken to finally see the truth. My name is Walter, and for 68 years, I thought I was a good man. I provided for my family. I never cheated, never stole. I paid my bills. I was respectable. But my grandson, Michael, he's 12 years old, and he asked me something I couldn't answer. He said, "Grandpa, when you think about your whole life, what was your favorite day?" And I couldn't answer him. Not because I didn't have good days. I had plenty of good days. But because when I really thought about it, I realized something terrible. I couldn't remember most of them. I'm 71 years old. I've lived 26,000 days, give or take. And when my grandson asked me to name my favorite, I sat there in silence, searching through decades of memories. And you know what I found? Most of my life, I wasn't really there. Let me explain. I grew up in 1953, small town in Ohio. My father worked in the steel mill. My mother took care of us 5 kids. We didn't have much money, but we had each other. My father, he would come home from the mill every day, exhausted, covered in dirt and sweat. But he'd still play catch with me in the backyard, still help me with my homework, still sit with us at dinner and ask about our day. And I remember thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to be even better than him. I'm going to give my family everything. So I worked hard, got into college, first one in my family. I studied accounting, not because I loved it, but because it was stable, secure. I graduated in '76, met my wife Eleanor that same year. She was beautiful, smart. She wanted to be a teacher. We got married in '77. I was 24. She was 22. We moved to a small apartment in Cleveland. I got a job at a firm downtown, and I remember the night before I started, Eleanor said to me, "Promise me something. Promise me you won't become one of those men who forgets to live while they're busy working." I promised her. I broke that promise, not all at once. It happened slowly, so slowly I didn't even notice. The first year I'd come home at 6. We'd make dinner together, talk about our days, go for walks. But then I wanted to advance, make more money, give Eleanor the life she deserved. So I started staying later. 6 became 7, 7 became 8. Eleanor would say, "Honey, come home. I miss you." And I'd say, "Just a few more months. Once I make senior accountant, I'll have more flexibility." I believed that. Our son, James, was born in 1980. I was 27. I was in a meeting when Eleanor went into labor. Made it to the hospital 3 hours after he was born. I held him for maybe 20 minutes before I had to get back for an afternoon presentation. I told myself, he's a baby. He won't remember this. I'll make it up to him. The first 2 years of James's life, I barely saw him awake. I'd leave before he woke up, come home after he was asleep. Eleanor would show me videos she'd taken, his first words, his first steps, and I'd watch them. Grateful she captured them, never realizing what I was really watching. I was watching my son's childhood like a stranger, like it was someone else's life. In 1985, Eleanor got pregnant again, our daughter, Sarah. I was happy, and I told myself, this time will be different. I'll be there more. But I wasn't. By then I was a partner at the firm, more responsibility, more hours, more pressure. Sarah was born. James was 5. Eleanor begged me to take paternity leave, just 2 weeks. I took 3 days. 3 days. And I spent most of those days checking email and taking calls. Eleanor stopped asking me to be present after that. She just handled everything. Here's what I told myself for the next 20 years. I told myself I was being a good father by being a good provider. I told myself my kids would thank me one day for the nice house, the good schools, the vacations. I told myself quality time mattered more than quantity. I was wrong about everything. James played soccer from age 6 to 18. Eleanor went to every single game. She was there in the rain, in the cold, cheering from the sidelines. Me, I made it to maybe 8 games total in 12 years, 8 games out of hundreds. And each time I missed one, I had a good reason. Client meeting, deadline, conference, emergency, all important, all justified. Sarah did ballet. Eleanor took her to lessons twice a week, helped her practice at home. I saw Sarah perform twice, her final recital in high school, and one other time I can't even remember clearly. My daughter danced for 12 years, and I saw her twice. In 1998, James went to college. He was 18. We drove him to Ohio State, helped him move into his dorm. And as we were leaving, he hugged Eleanor for a long time, whispered something in her ear. She started crying. Then he turned to me, shook my hand, and said, "Thanks for everything, Dad." Formal, polite, like I was a distant uncle or something. Eleanor cried the whole drive home. I asked her what James had whispered. She said, "He told me I was his best friend, that he couldn't have done any of this without me." He didn't say anything like that to me, because it wouldn't have been true. Sarah left for college 2 years later. Same thing. Long emotional goodbye with Eleanor. Polite hug for me. After Sarah left, it was just Eleanor and me. Empty nest. I thought, finally, now we'll have time together. But by then, we'd become strangers. We lived in the same house, slept in the same bed, but we didn't really know each other anymore. I'd ask her about her day, and she'd give me one-word answers. I'd try to plan date nights, and she'd say she was tired, and I couldn't understand why. Until one night in 2003. We'd just finished dinner. I was reading the paper. She was doing a puzzle, and out of nowhere, she said, "I've been lonely for 25 years. I put down the paper. I said, "What do you mean? I'm right here." And she looked at me with these tired, sad eyes and said, "No, Walter, you haven't been here, not really, not for a very long time." I wanted to argue, to defend myself, but I couldn't, because she was right. I'd been physically present in a house, in a marriage, in a family, but mentally, emotionally, I'd been somewhere else, always somewhere else, thinking about work, worrying about money, planning for the future. I'd spent so much time planning for the future that I'd missed the present. And by the time I realized it, the present had become the past. Eleanor and I, we stayed together, but something had shifted. She built her own life, her friends, her hobbies, her routines. I was just part of the furniture. James got married in 2007. Beautiful wedding. During the father-son dance, I tried to talk to him, really talk. I said, "I'm proud of you, son." He said, "Thanks, Dad." I said, "I know I wasn't around much when you were growing up, I'm sorry about that." He nodded, said, "It's okay. Mom more than made up for it." Mom made up for it. Like I was a deficit, something that needed to be compensated for. Sarah got married in 2009 during our father-daughter dance. She said something I'll never forget. She said, "You know what's funny, Dad? I used to make up stories about you when I was little." I said, "What kind of stories?" She said, "About what you were doing when you weren't home. I'd tell my friends you were a spy or a superhero or on secret missions because I couldn't understand why else you wouldn't be there." She laughed when she said it, like it was a funny memory. But I couldn't laugh because I finally understood what I'd done. My daughter had to create a fantasy version of me because the real me was never there. James and his wife had their first child in 2010, a son. They named him Michael, and I promised myself, this time I'll do it right. I'll be the grandfather I wasn't a father, but old habits die hard. I was retired by then, but I filled my time with things: golf, consulting work, committees, always busy, always something. Eleanor got sick in 2018, pancreatic cancer. She fought for 8 months, and in those 8 months, I finally showed up. I was there for every doctor's appointment, every treatment, every difficult night. I held her hand. I read to her. I told her I loved her every single day. And you know what she said to me 2 weeks before she died? She said, "I wish I'd gotten to know this Walter, the one who's here, the one who sees me." I said, "I'm sorry I waited so long." She said, "Me too." Eleanor died in January of 2019, and I fell apart. Not just because I lost her, but because I realized I'd never really had her. Not fully. Not the way I should have. I'd been married to her for 42 years, and I'd wasted most of them. After Eleanor died, I tried to get closer to my kids, called them more, visited more, but it was awkward. We didn't know how to talk to each other. They were polite, kind, but there was this distance, because you can't build intimacy in your 70s when you skipped it for the first 68 years. So that brings me to 3 months ago. Michael, my grandson. He's 12, James's son. I was picking him up from school. We were driving to get ice cream, and he asked me, "Grandpa, when you think about your whole life, what was your favorite day?" And I tried to think. I thought about my wedding day. But honestly, I mostly remember being stressed about the expense. I thought about the days my kids were born. But I was barely there. I thought about promotions, achievements, successes. But none of them felt like favorite days. They felt like boxes I checked, goals I achieved, not moments I lived. And then Michael said something that destroyed me. He said, "I think my favorite day was last summer, when Dad and I built a tree house together. We didn't finish it. It kinda sucked, actually. But we laughed so much. And I realized he's 12, and he can already name his favorite day, because he has a father who's there, who shows up, who builds memories with him. My son became the father I should have been, not because I taught him, but because he learned from my mistakes." I pulled over the car, started crying. Michael got scared, asked if I was okay, and I said, "I was wrong, buddy. I was wrong about what matters." I told him that for most of my life, I thought being a good man meant working hard and providing. But I missed the point. Being a good man means being present, It means showing up for the little moments because they're actually the big moments. It means choosing people over achievements. It means being there. I'm 71 years old, and when I look back at my life, I can't name a favorite day because I wasn't paying attention. I was always thinking about tomorrow, and I missed today. I was always working for a better future, and I squandered the present. So let me ask you, Michael's question, if your life ended tomorrow, could you name your favorite day? Not your biggest achievement, not your most impressive moment, your favorite day, the day you felt most alive, most present, most yourself. If you can't answer that, you're living the way I lived. And I'm telling you, from the other side of 70 years, it's not enough. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter what title you have or what people think of you. What matters is, are you there? Are you present with the people you love? Are you creating moments worth remembering? Are you living or just surviving? After that day with Michael, I made changes. I see my grandkids twice a week now, not to babysit, to be with them. We play games, build things, go for walks, talk. I called Sarah last week, and instead of asking about her job or her kids, I asked, "What's been making you happy lately?" She was quiet for a moment. Then she started really talking. We talked for 90 minutes, longest conversation we've had in maybe ever. I can't get back the years I lost. I can't redo James's childhood, can't be at Sarah's ballet recitals. I can't give Eleanor the husband she deserved, but I can change today and tomorrow. I can stop living in my head and start living in the moment. I can stop planning for a future that might never come and start appreciating the present that's right here. I'm 71 years old, and I finally understand something my father knew all along. When he'd come home from the mill, exhausted, and still play catch with me, he wasn't doing it because he had energy. He was doing it because he knew those moments don't come back. You get one life, one chance, one shot at being present for the people you love. Don't make my mistake. Don't wait until you're 71 to realize you missed it all. Michael asked me what my favorite day was. I couldn't answer him then. But next month, we're building a treehouse together, and I'm going to make sure that becomes my answer. If this story means something to you, share it. Leave a comment and tell me, what's your favorite day? If you don't have one yet, what are you going to do to create it? And subscribe, because I'm going to keep sharing these truths before my time runs out. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with your today?